Welcome back, student, to this lecture, lecture 4 A. That why the traditional AI approach. In the previous lecture, we saw the visualization technique and visualization approaches, and also how the transparency reduced by moving to the modern AI, and statistics. What was the role of statistic and how statistics was useful in explaining the data, visualizing data, and later that approach and that tools and technique has been used in the modern XAI. Now, from traditional AI to how we came to the neural network and why AI moved. Initially, we were defining a white box system, which is explainable, rule-based system. Then why we moved from rules to representation learning, right? So let's see why we were handcrafted rule we were defining, or rule-based system, or 1970s and 80s were not enough. In the rule-based system, we have to define the rule by hand. Now, as you know, when the data was simple, it was okay, but as we see in the modern time, image, speech, language, real world data are there. So handcrafted rule became insufficient and also became hard to code the rules, and the data is real world data is noisy. Anything new comes up, then the classical AI system was not able to capture it properly, and also the contextually they were working, and out of context they were having difficulty. So it became not enough, because to handle the modern day expected complexity we are expecting from AI system. So that led to the in one sentence, if you want to ask, traditional AI system is basically converting the human knowledge into rules or feature and then to decision. So example, we were encoding into the traditional AI system is a rule based if then rules, or we were creating expert system, or we were just saw decision tree in the previous lecture. We were creating the fuzzy system. We will have detailed lecture on fuzzy system. Then classical machine learning like SVM and naive Bayes, those are the classical machine learning approaches. Then if you want to see how the traditional AI look like, so this is a rule based system where if fever is there and cough, then it is a flu. If chest pain and sweating, then it's heart attack. So human retain if then rules as per domain knowledge to make the decision. Then decision trees came up where based on the data decision tree has been made, and that was helpful in doing the decision making, and this was also an AI system, you can call it. Then fuzzy logic came up, then support vector machine came up. We will have more knowledge later on. Then K nearest neighbor. So what is the number of component nearest to this particular thing? So that was also a very interesting approach, very simple approach. In the previous lecture, we saw naive Bayes approach and random forest approach. So these are all examples of classical or traditional AI techniques. Now, these techniques was useful. The reason is that in the past, when we were developing this classical AI system, I tell to all the students that anything in the present time we see, which looks like if you go and see the first computer, which was in 1945-42, that required almost whole few thousand square feet of place. But now you have the much advanced computing system just in your phone. Means what was a supercomputer in 90s or 80s, now in the phone you have that computing power. So in the past, the computing power was less, the memory space was less. Memory space was very expensive, like even a megabyte of data in 70s was costing millions of dollars. So we built, people built or scientists built traditional AI system which required less data, which was also easy to inspect. Also, the computing requirement needed was low. It can works in the well-defined domain. People accepted that we will use in this limited domain, and it was easier to deploy, and often it was less expensive to maintain. And since it required less memory, less compute, environmentally more efficient it was. Now what happened later on that as the society and technological advancement increases, we came to the era of internet, our needs and everything became much higher. We have much more images, we can have audio recording with the mic. Earlier to do recording you have to go to the specialized studio, but now we can have tons of recording just from the phone. Natural language understanding came into the play, the video understanding, we have everyone's phone have the video making, and present day sensors are all too many and noise are also there. We want to apply to the complex biological data and we are getting data from multiple dimensions. So this kind of complexity was too much in the present time. Now what traditional AI system was there before deep learning came up? So a person need to have a domain knowledge and it is going to decide features. Like when I was doing PhD 2008, that time we were doing handcrafted feature engineering was our whole PhD. Like we want to develop a classification system, we were working on different kind of feature. So this is a edge feature, this is a texture feature. So people have been working on Gaussian feature, then applying Laplacian of Gaussian, then histogram of Gaussian, HOG feature, then bag of words, then many feature engineering was there. I myself worked on safe feature, geometrical feature, geometrical primitive features. I have myself worked on my PhD. So with that, after this feature, we use classical machine learning and then do the system to detect the object. It was slow because feature engineering used to typically take 2 to 3 years of time to build a system which is very new feature and can do a good performance, and very domain specific knowledge was needed, and if a new kind of data comes up, often it was we are able to miss the important pattern in that. What typically happen is that we defined a rule. Let's say in the classical ML that if object is red and octagonal, then classify we as a stop sign. Now if a lighting changes the feature, it cannot see red color. The camera is not showing red color. If too much brightness, then octagonal feature structure going away. If trees are leaves are hiding, then rule is failing. If anyone has put a graffiti on it, then also it is not able to detect the feature required to do the classify the based on the rule. Then if the image is taken in certain angle, then it doesn't look like an octagon. And if rain, snow, like I am in a Norway, this kind of condition is very natural. This kind of condition is very natural. So in the traditional system was failing. It was not able to handle the real life scenario. Now also thing happen is that as a human we can do many things automatically. We can effortlessly identify a person, object, speech, identification, emotions of the people, and many kind of biological structure. But classical traditional machine learning was finding difficulty, and that led to the approach of neural network which was able to capture this kind of subtle changes in the things in a more hierarchical manner. So let's see what we were doing before 2010, 2012. What we were doing, human expert were designing the handcrafted feature. It can be edge feature, texture feature, color feature, shape feature, or a combination of it. And then we put machine learning support vector machine, random forest or naive Bayes or any kind of machine learning approach, and then we are doing the classification. What we were using this handcrafted feature. What is the modern deep learning or neural network is letting you do that you simply pass the raw image. No need to identify edge feature or a texture feature, color feature, anything. Just put the input image, and internally it is calculating its own feature, low level feature in different layer, different type of feature it is capturing automatically. and then you are doing the classification. So this feature engineering task completely went away, and it became less sensitive. The internal hidden layers have the representation latent learning, and that becomes applicable for a lot of field. So what typically happen is that initially the things was transparent, more explainable, but it was less flexible. Now the neural network given us very more flexible, that you have the, like if you have trained this model for detecting cat and dog, now you want to apply it for detecting octopus and whale, let's say on water world, then same model can be used, trained model, and then use a new kind of data, octopus and whale, and then retrain it. So you don't have to use a lot of data after doing this transfer learning kind of thing. So it gives you the flexibility. Now but it became the less transparent. We got the performance, but we lost the transparency, and so that leads to the thing is that because we added many layers in the deep learning, many parameters are there, millions of trillions of parameters are there, many nonlinear transformation we are doing in a deep learning, and there are these features are hidden, and internally it is learning and distributed information in the many layers, and it is also doing this automatic feature learning. So machine is learning automatically, which is in the non-human language or non-human understandable language, and that's making the modern AI approaches non-explainable. And we know that why it is important. If you don't know, you can watch my previous lecture, the importance of it. So traditional AI was previously, before 2010, it was more transparent, but as the neural network came up, it became more accurate and more powerful and more versatile, but we lost the transparency because it is learning the representation automatically from the data. So I hope you understood it. In next lecture we will know that how the neural network, I will explain what is a neural network and what kind of things it is learning internally, and different concept of neural network in a very simple and easy manner. So stay tuned for my lecture 4B.